From Vincent, if Roethlisberger leaves in free agency, I'm just going to go with retires probably. But either way, if Roethlisberger's gone and Pittsburgh doesn't draft a quarterback in next year's draft, can they sign a veteran quarterback in NFL free agency? So that's the problem, right? That the options to open free agency normally aren't great. Your best bet is going to be a Teddy Bridgewater, and Andy Dalton, and Nick Foles. So they could add a veteran. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Fitzpatrick, if he wants to keep playing football games, also a free agent. Maybe Jameis Winston impresses, Cam Newton. There are some decent veterans, but no one that makes you go, yes, this is our franchise savior. Because I think the draft is probably what Pittsburgh will end up looking, if not next year, in the very near future. From 12L, Stephon Gilmore to the Steelers. Money's pretty tight for them right now. I'd be a little bit surprised if that's the route that they went. Corner is a need. I think for Pittsburgh, what might make more sense is adding a veteran corner in free agency. Yes, it helps them win games right now, but you got to pay him. And I don't know if Pittsburgh wants to go that route at this exact point. From Denver Dad 4-0, rocking the dad shoes, which my wife bought me when she told me that she was pregnant, by the way. She brought me, it wasn't the Nike, it was the Reebok ones, I think. But like the white grass-cutting shoes, Anyway, better safety, Minkah or Justin Simmons? I think it's Minkah Fitzpatrick. And those of you who have watched the show for a long time know that I love Justin Simmons. But I think you just named safety 1 and safety 2 in that order. Minkah's safety 1, Justin Simmons is safety 2. But what do you guys think? Get your votes in for me right now in the comment section. MF for Minkah Fitzpatrick or type JS for Justin Simmons. Christian Navarro, should the Jags be interested in former Steelers offensive guard David DeCastro? Look, they've committed to Andrew Norwell for one more year. Curious if Ben Barch gets on the field as a guard this year. They've got AJ Cann too. If DeCastro's healthy, I would say yes, if only to ensure that your franchise quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, does not end up getting hurt. But I don't know if he's healthy. So because of that, it's more of a TBD on that one. Husker Football, is Juju a number 1 receiver for the Steelers? I mean, I don't think of him as a true wide receiver 1. I think he's almost more of like a 1B, but a good 1B, right? Like, is he a top 32 receiver? Probably. Can he anchor a receiving core on his own with the current quarterback in Pittsburgh? No, I don't think so. Better quarterback play would also help Juju. So I think he is the best receiver right now for Pittsburgh. But is he a true, legitimate number 1? I'm not so sure. John Dorman, Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans. Who is 1, 2, 3? I think I'm going to go with Keenan Allen because I just love his route running. It's a tough 1, 2, 3. I'll go Allen, Evans, Robinson. You could talk me into any order on that front. All 3 of those guys are legitimate wide receiver 1s. For Hyper 3, who is the most underrated NFL player right now? Safety Jesse Bates. He is one of the best safeties, like top 3 or top 5, and he ain't 5, by the way. I think Jesse Bates should be viewed in almost the same tier as a Justin Simmons, a Minkah Fitzpatrick, those guys. He doesn't get that hype, though. So I'm going to go Jesse Bates, the safety from the Cincinnati Bengals. From Ray Grange, best secondary. I think you have to, the first thing that comes to mind for me at least, the Denver Broncos have to be inside that conversation. They're deep at corner. They've got great safeties. I think Denver is at least in the top 3 there. I like the Giants secondary a lot. I like Washington secondary too. But I think that Denver is my pick. From Adam White, surprise team this year and biggest disappointment. Good question. From a positive standpoint, I don't know if it's fair to count the Patriots as a surprise team, but I think they're going to make a playoff push. I think disappointment-wise, maybe a team like Miami, if Tua's not good. There's a lot of hype around the Rams because they have Matthew Stafford. I need to see more out of them and Arizona Cardinals. There are 4 good teams in the NFC West. One of those teams will end up being a disappointment. ACB Collects. Who is the best safety in the NFL? When he's healthy, I'd say Derwin James. He can do anything on the field. So I love Derwin James too. When healthy, he is absolutely in that conversation. However, he hasn't been healthy very much, and I am very much worried about that. So having to factor in the health here, I'm going to go with Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think he is amongst a great group of safeties, Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates, Budda Baker, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick is the best one right now in the NFL. Top 5 NFL stadiums. Go Giants. Oh, jeez, I don't know. I've only been to a handful of them. I think Jerry World's certainly up there. I feel like Lambeau Field should be there just for like the brand, the whole side of it. I like Raymond James because of the cannons, the Bucs game. That's pretty fun there. I've heard good things about the Vikings Stadium. I've been to the Falcons one a lot. What's up, Jeremy? You can unmute yourself. Yeah,
I have a friend who's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. He says electric, one of the most electric environments he's ever been in.
All right, I could see Arrowhead being really good there. Okay, I think I forget what it's called right now. The Seahawks, it was CenturyLink, then they changed it. That one is a special stadium, so I'd say Arrowhead's in there. Heinz field is too bad for me to include that. Worst stadium, Soldier Field, if only because of the All-22 footage is just garbage. From Gary Sanderson, coaches on the hot seat. I mean, I think Zach Taylor for the Bengals is a big one. If the Cardinals and Cliff Kingsbury don't make a real playoff run and or at least push, I think he ends up getting fired as well. I think Vic Fangio, Denver Broncos, if they miss the playoffs, even if the quarterback plays bad and it's not Fangio's fault, with a new regime in charge, he might end up being on the hot seat as well. From my burner account, who is the most overrated and underrated player in the NFL? Well, from an underrated perspective, I am a huge fan of Jesse Bates. He's not regarded as like the top 5, top 10, top whatever safety that he should be. Frankly, he's top 5, and he ain't 5 on that list. I am a big-time believer in Jesse Bates, the Bengals safety. From an overrated perspective, the people who I like to go quarterbacks here. Matthew Stafford leaves the Lions and goes to the Rams and is now top 6 quarterback. Doesn't make any sense to me. That's a pretty. He's good. He's in that top 10 conversation, but he's not 6 as far as I'm concerned. Other overrated players, geez. I think Sam Darnold, people believing in him, I don't agree with that. He's never been good in his NFL career. I'm sorry. There's no way around that there. Carson Wentz has seen his stock dip significantly, but I think that's a name that should probably be mentioned as well. You guys let me know what you think in the comments section. From Jordan Maloney, who are your top 3 defensive tackles to start the season? So I'm going interior guys only. Number 1, unquestionably, is Aaron Donald. Like, there's no way around it. He is the best player in the NFL right now, outside of perhaps Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, I'm going to go with Chris Jones of the Chiefs. After that, it gets a little bit tough. I think DeForest Buckner, Cam Hayward, Fletcher Cox, Jeffrey Simmons, and I'd also want to throw in Quinnen Williams inside that conversation. I think he's going to have a huge year, but he's probably not top 3 right now. So I'll go with DeForest Buckner over Hayward and Cox barely.